Interesting to look up there at the AFC West standing and see the Chiefs in last.
Yeah. No one predicted that. I can tell you that.
They did not. Not a lot of people predicted the Saints to go up there and kick the crap out of New England, but they did that. 28-13 the final, and the Saints just bullied them. There's no two ways about it. If I would have told you entering this game that New England's running backs would combine to carry the ball 11 times for 21 yards and that Mac Jones would be forced to throw it 51 times, you'd feel really good about it. It was just the Saints got Passanio back, and Demario Davis is playing at an all-pro level, and they were just phenomenal against this New England offense that really couldn't get anything going all day.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to put a rookie quarterback in position to do. And I think seeing Lattimore back and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I think Paulson Adebo, man, he's been having a sensational rookie year. You never expect to get that type of production from a third-round pick, but he's coming out there and really just doing a phenomenal job in coverage. And it's no shocker. The Saints got out there and they were too high safety and they just ran man underneath, and you got to beat it. And I think they have the personnel to do that week in and week out. They love their cornerbacks out on the outside, and they're going to continue to do that. And if you can keep Jameis from turning the football over and just, play safe and give the ball to Kamara as much as you can, you're going to be in a lot of football games. So that's definitely what the Saints needed after losing last week.
The offensive line just reappeared. It was awesome in week 1, and it was terrible in week 2, and then that's a little bit more like it. And Kamara got 24 carries. That's what we expected to start the season. That they were just going to have to try to run the football. They got Taysom in there in the red zone when they thought they needed a numbers advantage, and he punched one in. But it was a solid running performance. They ran it 38 times. Jameis just threw it 21. The touchdown pass to Callaway was ridiculous. And I don't think Sean Payton appreciates the answer that it was God's plan for it to be a touchdown. It's just not the most high percentage throw that Jameis has ever put up there, but it worked out. And we were talking about Callaway, finally breaking through, and he makes the play for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a huge play in the game, and I think just having Jameis, I'm not trying to poo-poo on Drew Brees, but I think Drew Brees probably gets sacked in that situation. Jameis is a big, strong kid, threw the blitz and DB off of him and still found a way to give his receiver the chance to make a play. And I know Sean Payton was probably, his heart was racing at the time, but you give your guy a chance to make a play, and Callaway comes down with the ball, and that was a big play in the game. I think they don't score that. Who knows the game flow and which way that game would go in, but that was a big touchdown in the game, and I think Jameis not turning the ball over was huge in this game.
I know that especially NFL organizations poo-poo when people get hurt or things don't. They just like, well, that's part of the league, and I get it. Like I understand people get injured, but the team the Saints put out there last week against Carolina is not really their team. Mm-hmm. It's just not, and so I'm more likely to look at week 1 and week 3 and say this is a team that can make a push here and can get into playoffs and can win a playoff game or two. They've got enough pieces to do that. They didn't look it in week 2 because they didn't have anybody on the defensive side of the ball. I can't necessarily back up the offensive line's play because they basically had the whole offensive line. You had to move McCoy, but it was just a weird week that I think you can write off. I mean, I think that they're better than they showed last week, and they're probably closer. They're closer. The closest thing the Saints are in terms of their 3 results is week 3. Yeah. They're not really week 1. They're not week 2. This is probably who the Saints are. They got a good offensive line that can run the ball. Jameis is going to be asked to do a little bit, and they should be able to, with the playmakers they have, with Taysom and Kamara, and when they get Thomas back, they should be able to win more games than they lose.
Yeah, if I'm the Saints, I'm feeling really good about myself. Still a bunch of guys that you thought you'd have on the defensive side of the ball. You still got David Onyemata coming back. You get Quan back at some point this year. You get Davenport back at some point this year. Then you mix that with all the coverage guys that you have who missed last week's game. So you're feeling really good about yourself on the defensive side of the ball. And like you just said, you get Michael Thomas back, one of the best receivers in all of football, coming back. Another security blanket for Jameis to have, especially in the red zone. So if I'm Sean Payton, I'm not worried at all. I'm continuing to do what I'm doing and finding ways to, help this offense move the ball and score points. And I love that I asked this last week, Taysom Hill getting the ball. You saw a 4-minute drill. They just ran Taysom. It's so hard to stop when you got 10 guys blocking for one rather than, 9 blocking for the last one. So I think just having Taysom in there to finish the game, that was a big adjustment by Sean Payton, and that's why you saw the Patriots not get the ball back.
I am shocked that 2 people in the NFL still have jobs today. Those 2 people are Matt Nagy, the Bears coach, who is going to get fired at some point very soon, and Aldrich Rosas. Because Sean Payton does not deal with 0 for 2 field goal days very often. And I realize they're trying to get Lutz back, but I'm shocked that they have not run somebody else out there on the practice squad, or that they've tried somebody out and told Rosas to hit the bricks. Because that 0 for 2 from field goal land is not in Sean Payton's bag.
Oh, yeah. I think I asked you about Sharif coming on.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first thing I ask him. What's up with Rosas, man? What are you going to do about that?
Well, my question to him was, how many kickers will he cut before Lutz comes back?
Yeah.
That was the question I asked him, and we're going to get to one because there's no way he's staying around.
Yeah, I definitely see them. He may get one more chance this week, but if he misses another one this week, then it's going to be bad for him. And you hate to see it, but that's what you get asked to do when you get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to kick field goals. You better get in there and make them. So that's just the expectation that Sean Payton has.